The BOOcast synth of the month is the Roland MC-202 microcomposer. Founded in 1972 by engineer and inventor Ikutaru Kakahashi, Roland's first product was the Rhythm 77, a preset drum machine in a wooden case designed to sit atop your organ. This began Roland's large range of drum machines and other things with a pulse. And it's thought that all this stems from Kakahashi-san's childhood fascination with repairing clocks. After the early synthesizers, amplifiers and other things which erupted from Roland in the 70s, Roland released the MC-8, a pioneering digital sequencer, in 1977. It was designed to give 8 tracks of sequencing to get all that kit under control, and it cost a small fortune. In 1982, Roland released the TB-303. Initially marketed as a tool for guitarists to practice along with, it found its true calling in electronic dance music of the 1980s and 1990s, and by now ridiculously high prices are commanded by this small, squelchy silver slab of plastic. Then, in 1983, Roland introduced the MC-202, a compact and portable analog synthesizer and sequencer. It was designed as a more affordable and streamlined version of the Roland MC4 and MC8 sequencers, and included what is basically a cut-down version of the SH-101. Kakahashi-san once said that his experience repairing clocks taught him how to design and build electronic instruments that were precise, reliable, and easy to use. But does the 202 live up to this dream? Here it is, this little grey darling. And doesn't it look an awful lot like an SH-101? And in fact, it kind of has the guts of an SH-1 inside it, minus the noise, and maybe minus one or two other things, I can't remember which. But it's got the same sort of architecture and the same components and the same bits inside, and it sort of sounds like one. So yeah, let's start with the VCO. So we've got one oscillator and a sub-oscillator tied to it. We've got a square wave. Let's turn that up. I'll just kill the echo a bit. So we've got manual control of the pulse width. Whoops. You can also control it via the envelope. And we've got the obligatory pulse width modulation via the single LFO. Rather nice, and it does its thing. We've also got a mixer here, so we can mix in the two waveforms and the sub that come out of the single oscillator chip. So here we go. There's a saw. And a sub, which goes 1 octave down with a square, 2 octaves down with a square, and 2 octaves down with a narrow pulse. And bringing them together is rather lovely. There's a range selector switch, which is a little bit unwell on my particular model. It occasionally craps out slightly, but and then we have a modulation level, which is connected to the LFO, and the LFO has a delay. Is useful for those high-soaring, delightful, heart-rending solos. Now onto the filter. So the filter is very familiar looking. So it's a Roland 24 dB filter. Let's go low. And the resonance, as you'd expect, if we bring it up. Very nice filter. The filter has envelope amounts. And modulation amount, which comes to the LFO. I've got the delay time on, let's take that off. And we've got the keyboard amount, which adjusts the filter up and down the keyboard. And yes, you can play. Let's take that mod off. And the envelope off. More or less tracking, I think. And we can bring that in. With the oscillator to get that kind of thing. We have a single envelope here which deals with the VCA and the VCF, and when you select it, the pulse width of the oscillator. Now, when it's dealing with the VCA, you get that thing where you've got the filter closing, but the VCA dies away as well, because we're dying down to nothing here. But you can switch it from the VCA connected to the envelope to a sort of organ envelope there, which allows you to hear all those frequencies as it goes down. So that more or less does it for this synthesizer. So it's actually really simple, and it's very similar to the 202, sort of a cut down 202. And you can't help but notice, whoa, what's all this? So we've got these plastic keys. We've got 2.5 octave plastic, very similar to the Casio VL1 keys, but they're kind of rubbery little things. And there's a little bit of dirt. I should have given this a clean first. Never mind. But the whole point of these keys is not to play them, because we do have CV and gate in and out. The whole point of these is to program it. It's a micro composer, and I'm just going to turn it off and wipe its little memory and turning it on again. Yep, it's that kind of thing. Now, this is a notoriously difficult, complicated and irritating little thing to program, unless, of course, you're doing things like this. In which case, it's very easy. You press play, and then you hold shift and press cycle, and it'll loop through it. And you're free to do things on the synthesizer. But anything more complicated than that, and it gets a bit tricky. So yeah, we've got these two buttons here, play and edit. So play obviously means play, and you can play the keyboard by hand. It's a bit small and fiddly and rubbery and a bit unpleasant, and sometimes feels a little uncertain. But yes, in this little window here, we've got these numbers, various things going on. Okay, so that tells you where the cycle's attached, and then we've got battery, portamento, accent, and then this side we've got a play, and then if we go to edit, you can edit the pitch, edit the step, edit the gate. And you can do them separately. So what I tended to do, because I really am quite a lazy sod, I'll just take this off, is, you know, get yourself a little sound you like. Whoops. And it turns on in pitch edit mode. So you need to remember to press play. So you can have a little practice. And then if you go to edit, you can put the pitch in. There we go. And then we go straight to play, hit cycle. And we've got a tempo knob here. No indication of what speed you're going at. This is all pre-MIDI and so then you can continue to edit. So we go to edit step. I think, yeah, you can actually edit the notes coming in, but we'll edit the step now. So we've got these notes along the bottom, so we can go for that. And various legato, tie, staccato. Put a few rests in. Literally, all I would do is randomly put these in. Go to play. Very much hit and miss affair, as you can hear. Now you can add portamento and accents, and you can change the length of each note from arrest to staccato, non-legato, legato and tie, and you've got all these different note values underneath which you can change the speed of the way it's playing back in per note. It's a nightmare. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to just maybe add some. Let's go back. Yeah, we're at the beginning. Back and forward takes you back and forward through the steps. That takes you back and forward through the measures. So let's have a. So now we've got this. You notice this button here, it says channel. We've got another sequence we can use on top of that one, so. And we'll play that. That's the first channel. So yeah, it's got two sequences inside. You can take one of them and connect it to an external synth and play the two notes at the same time. I'll just do that. So I've, it took me ages to remember, but I've stuck two sequences in here. So one of them is going. And the other one's going other channel. Like that. And I have connected channel 2 via CV and gate to VCO2 of the Malevolent. Turn this down so you can hear that. together we can do this. So that's the Roland MC-202 microcomposer. Thank God there's an upgrade to this sequencer. I might even invest in it because it sounds great, but the sequencer really breaks your head unless you've got a spreadsheet on hand. Thanks for watching.